welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of October 5th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me tonight, two gentlemen I am sure enjoying the beginning of fall.
Benjamin Daniel Lawless.
Devon Kraft.
And
Fall's okay.
Okay.
It's just okay.
Just okay.
But yeah. But big thank you to you and your wife for feeding my dog yesterday.
Oh,
dude.
you're welcome.
Thanks.
I wasn't there, but you're welcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gave you the instructions and expected that they would be followed, and then your wife did. So thank you.
Thank
you
was,
and your wife.
You're very welcome. I when you were when you're like, hey man, can you do this? I looked at Martine and I was like, and she just was like, yes, of course. And then we thought about it afterwards, like, oh, I'm busy today at that time, but Martine was like, it's no problem. It's just feeding the dog. And then you sent this crazy first person view video with instructions. Like I thought I was playing like Doom for a minute, but then you were just feeding a dog. Like, how did you do that?
I got one of these neat it's like a necklace that's easily bendable, and like you can keep it, and then it has you can adjust it so that it doesn't like move around too much, but it goes around your neck, and then it has a MagSafe connection, so you just pop your phone onto it, and then you can record hands-free what you're doing.
It worked beautifully.
Thanks. Yeah, it was the quickest way for me to set up the information, even though I know like it would be 2 minutes for someone to watch it on the receiving end, but
no, that was great.
Yeah. So good times, especially because like it didn't feel like I wanted to make a note that I shared with you, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need anybody to do this ever again for this dog. So
hey, you never know.
Well, like even if it is feeding the dog, it would be like with how much he's been changing his tastes lately, that it's unlikely the same food is going to be what he wants in a week.
Oh, I see. So like next time I'm going to receive a video and it's going to be like slaughtering a chicken and be like, this is all he eats now, but this is how you do it.
Pretty much.
And that'll be in the cloud.
Just like the God of War party that they had, that Sony had, where they slaughtered a live goat at like their video game release party.
See, I remember that. That was crazy.
Yet you can't remember Devon's cherished memories from high school.
Oh, what, both of them? No, I can't. I'm sorry.
You don't have enough room in the meat space.
There's not. I don't have enough meat to record that data. I'm sorry. Let me just segue a little bit, because it makes sense. I wasn't there because I was part of an RPG. I was invited. I was invited to play in one locally by some local friends, and we played this game called Shadow of the Demon Lord, which sounds so metal. And the game
does sound metal.
It was very fantasy, D&D-esque, but like we were going down the road and we heard like a child scream for help off the side of the road, so we run to go see, and then like all of these like red-eyed glowing children are like, come to us, and we're like, oh, we gotta kill all of them. And then we started to slaughter these children, and it turns out they were like changelings. There was like dirt and mud inside of them as we sliced them open, and I was like, oh, this is the kind of game this is. All right, cool. It was actually pretty neat because the adventure was designed around Scooby-Doo. So my character was Velmar, the librarian or the researcher. I was like a magician, magic caster type, but based on Velma. So I had like a giant magnifying glass that like helped with perception rolls, stuff like that. It was neat, man. It was a fun deal. It was a one shot. So we we killed all the things that we need to kill, and it was like 5 hours of fun. It was awesome.
Right on.
So yeah, that's what I was doing when you were like, "Hey man, is my dog okay? Did you ever feed him?" And I was like, yes, I'm so sorry. We did it. I should have let you know.
I mean,
It was the whole
yeah,
thing.
for us it was we had a roller derby bout that my son was playing in. So we don't get a lot of those. So it was neat.
Right on, man. Good deal.
Yeah.
Devin, what's been going on with you?
Yeah, you had a cruise?
Yeah, we went on a cruise last weekend. It was from Thursday to Monday. Although the way they count the days of a cruise, you count the day you get on the boat because you get on like early in the day, and so you have all day to hang out. But the day you get back to port, it's like the boat docks overnight, and you just wake up and get off the boat. So the last day isn't really like part of the cruise. So it was a 4-day cruise. It was a lot of fun. We took the kids with us. There's so much to do on the cruise. Like we saw a ice skating performance. Then we got to ice skate one of the days because when the performance isn't going on, they open up the rink to people to skate. There was laser tag. There was karaoke, which my son Elliot, who's 5, is awesome at.
He's
Like,
awesome at
he knows so
karaoke.
many songs. Well,
Very cool.
he's awesome in that he'll actually sing along. Like so many kids get up there and just like kind of mumble or don't say anything or don't sing into the mic. He will actually like sing so you can hear him, and he knows the lyrics and he can read pretty well. So he's like actually following along to lyrics he doesn't necessarily know.
That's awesome, man.
Well, and so we went to karaoke because they have like family karaoke time and then other karaoke time. So we went to like family karaoke 3 times. And whenever he came up, like after his first time, people were like, "Oh, it's Elliot!" Like he had like like fans. It was kind of cute.
He had fans.
Epic.
Oh man, that's amazing.
And then there was like rock climbing. They had one of those. It's like a permanent wave type thing, so you can go boogie boarding or surfing, which Jen and I did. We went boogie boarding on that thing.
Nice.
And they have a pool. You sang at the pool. They have a huge theater. We saw a magic show. So yeah, all the cool, fun things you do on a cruise. The kids really liked it. We had fun too. So yeah, totally.
Awesome.
It was a good time.
Sweet, man. Did you do anything off the boat, or is it not that kind of cruise?
No, it is. So it goes to Cozumel, which is where Jen and I went last time on a cruise. This was the same cruise Jen and I did, although it was actually a different cruise company. Before we went Carnival, this was Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
So it actually docked at a different place in Cozumel. So we didn't really want to do anything there because we didn't think there was anything the kids would really like. And it's kind of a hassle to get off the boat, go to like whatever bus, and then go to the place. And
Okay.
we're like, there's so much fun stuff to do on the boat that we'll just stay here. We did end up getting off just to like, so the kids could kind of see Mexico and just say we've been there with the kids.
Was it
But
real
this-
like yellow tinted? Because that's what it looks like on TV.
Yeah, sepia. But so this boat docked at a different place than the other boat docked because they're different companies. And the place this boat docked was not very. I mean, both places, there's a lot of shops. They're trying to get your attention. They're trying to sell you souvenirs. That's all fine to be expected. The other place, though, was like kind of like in an open kind of courtyard area and it looked nice. This one, you get off and go immediately into this like really run down looking outdoor mall. And it was not, and it was super hot. And it was like, we were during the trip, we were, all talking about what our favorite things to do are and what our least favorite things to do are. And I'm like, getting off the boat in Cozumel was by far my least favorite thing.
Wow.
And I was the one who eventually was like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should get off the boat a little bit just to do it. And the whole process of getting off the boat and getting there was fine. So it wasn't a big deal. But I was like, it ended up, it was it was not worth it. We could have just hung out by the pool and not had to deal with all that crap. So
okay, fair enough. I guess that's why they give you the option, right?
Yeah, and if we hadn't had the kids, we would have done something, because we did last time. We went on a tour of what was it? So it was like we did different tequila tastings, but we also went to a place where they make like chocolate like from scratch. And so you got to like see the process of making chocolate, and you got to taste it at different stages. And of course, before they put sugar in it, it tastes terrible. So that was fun. So there are fun things to do, and we considered going like swimming with dolphins, but we were like, well, that's kind of it's expensive, and if the kids don't like it, like they get scared, then it's all going to be ruined anyway. And we're like, well, it's not. We decided not to do it this time. Maybe next time.
This seems like it's going to be something that you guys do like yearly. Was it that kind of vibe? You think it'll stick around?
I don't know. Maybe every other year, because the last time we went, I think, was 2 years ago. And it is pretty expensive. Like I happened to find the deal for this one. And even with a deal, it's still pretty expensive. But I definitely, every like 2 or 3 years, I think it's worth going. It's a lot of fun.
Right on.
Probably next time. That's the thing. Like this is like the cheapest option we have. Like it goes out of Galveston, which is a 4-hour drive for us. It's a 4-day cruise, which is kind of the shortest cruise, so we don't have to miss too much work and school. So this is like the cheapest basically we have available. That's still, getting the full like cruise experience. So I would want to do something more probably next time, like go somewhere different, or maybe a longer cruise, or just something to change things up. And that's going to be like more expensive. So it'll have to be something we'd think like, okay, do we want to spend a lot of money on this, or we could go do a different trip that doesn't involve a cruise. So, but I don't think it's going to be a thing that's like every year we're like, okay, now it's cruise season, we're going on our yearly cruise. Like it's not going to be like that.
All right. Well, you know what you should do eventually, maybe sooner rather than later, is do a very similar cruise, but get like the upgraded everything. Get like the fancy penthouse, go for like a longer time, blah, 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 and then compare and see like, is it really worth the money to be a little fancier? And I would bet you a lot that it's not. That like that's just the way those things are. Like whenever like I think about Disney and they're like, oh, upgraded and this and that, and it's like, it's not ever really worth it. Anyways,
This deal, we ended up, because they pack people on those cruise ships to get their money's worth. So a lot of the rooms are very small.
Yeah.
And this time we had like actually a nice room that was on the same, like was on the 11th deck, which was the deck with the pool and a lot of the like activities and the buffet. So before we were on like the second deck, but although it was still we still had a window, but a lot of rooms are like in the middle of the ship, and they're just like a closet basically.
Yeah.
More than that, but that's what they kind of look like, because I've seen into people's rooms just, walking by and things. So we got somehow
sounds like
a nice
you're
room
creeping around the middle of the boat.
Well, you're walking around. Yeah, I know.
And what does your room look like, little boy?
I guess it's mostly seeing pictures online, like researching like tickets and stuff and seeing how small they are. Like this one, we had a balcony. It was actually like had some room. Like it was like a hotel room. I mean, also because we had kids, we had to have like enough room for a pull-out bed from the sofa, and that we had that. The other thing is, if we were to go again, we really want to go with like Jen's sister and her family, because then our kids would have their cousins to play with.
Instead
so it would
of
help
you.
kind of keep them busy, and they would really enjoy it. But then you have to get like either a bigger room, or especially for them, because they would have 5 or 6 people. I say 5 or 6 because her new husband has a daughter that may or may not go with them. I don't know. But then you'd have to buy like one of the big suites or something, or get 2 rooms, and that's really expensive. So I don't know if we'll ever be able to work it out to where they go with us. So we have no plans like on the books to go again. So it'll just be like a few years from now when we're like, oh, that sounds fun. Let's look it up and see if there's a deal. And if there is, we'll go again.
Fantastic. Ben?
Yeah. What do you
Talk to us.
What do you want to know?
What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm like, do you want me to talk about because I don't have any information about cruises, but
what do you have information about, Ben?
Well, so recently I watched The Naked Gun, which is a new film that came out. That's the fourth film in the Naked Gun franchise, starring Liam Neeson this time instead of Leslie Nielsen, and
because
it was it was really
dead.
funny. Yes, which is unfortunate. Yeah, it was pretty funny, and I've got a 12-year-old in the house, and I thought, most of this movie is right up his alley, but there are some racy portions of it,
of course,
and so I was like, well, I seem to also remember that there was some racy portions in the first 3 Naked Gun movies as well, and then I realized, wait a second, this is all a continuation of a 1982 television series called Police Squad.
Oh no.
And so
what did you do?
I've watched the first 2 episodes, and they are as amazing as the Naked Gun movies are, and they don't have the raciness because they were for television in 1982. So yeah, I definitely give it a wholehearted 2 thumbs up. Check out Police Squad any way you can, and yeah, if that sounds like an interesting thing to you, there was a lot of really great jokes in it, and it even lands with the 12-year-old audience.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Did that have Leslie Nielsen in it as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the movie, just as a television show. Like, they did not change much for the first movie. Bigger budget for sure. But okay, so one of the interesting little gags that has happened in each of the first 2 episodes is that they, in the opening credits, they say special guest star, and so the first episode is special guest star Lorne Greene. I'm like, oh cool, Lorne Greene, I know that guy, and who you may know as Adama from the original Battlestar Galactica. He was also in a lot of Western roles. He was a working actor for a very long time, and anyhow, during the opening credits, a car. It's special guest star Lorne Greene, and a car pulls up, and Lorne Greene falls out of the back, stabbed to death, with a knife pulled out of him, and then never shows up the rest of the episode.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
Oh,
and so that. it's just gags like that, constantly.
There's not enough movies or content, I suppose is what you have to call everything now, that's just zany, good-natured zaniness. That is what that was.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and especially at 12 years old, it's that's all the kid wants to see, right? It's just zaniness.
Yeah.
At least my kid.
12 is the zany age, I think. It's right before teen, when everything goes angst, but you go, it's called the zany extinction burst. And then and then all the angst kicks in. This is it, man. Yeah. This is it.
So I'm enjoying that time and watching these with him, and then probably will in the next year go and watch the Naked Gun films with him, and maybe just skip past some of the racy parts, because we've been skipping back past some of the racy parts on Firefly as well, as we've been watching that. So I'm
trying to think of the racy parts.
There is an interesting scene where Leslie Nielsen and the girl he's dating have safe sex.
Oh, the body condoms.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And the new one had some really suggestive stuff as well.
I was surprised because I heard that the new one was really funny, and I, for some reason, assumed it was a rated R comedy. And then when it came out on streaming, I just found out it was streaming yesterday, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, it's PG-13. That completely changes my expectations. I was just surprised. I thought it was going to be a raunchy R-rated comedy.
No, it's not tremendously raunchy, but there's a little bit in there. There's
a difference between race and raunch. Yeah, according to Ben.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, kind of speaking of things having a different rating than you expect, Marvel
Yes.
Zombies came out on Disney Plus, you guys,
Uh-huh.
and I was not expecting it to be R-rated. Wasn't watching it with the kid, but yeah, because he's a little iffy on zombie stuff. That's just one of his
That's
things that
right.
he does not do zombie stuff.
Yeah.
So there I am holding squeezing a liter of fluids into my dog each night as we're watching Marvel Zombies. It's really good, you guys. Have you guys watched Marvel Zombies yet?
I have not.
No, I have not.
Okay.
It was recommended to me by a friend of the show, Greg.
Oh, cool.
But then he said he was also telling me about Peacemaker.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, hey, man, I finally started watching Peacemaker. And he was like, oh, yeah, don't watch Marvel Zombies. Watch that. That's an okay.
Okay.
And,
okay, gotcha.
And I'll get to that when you're done doing Marvel Zombies talk, because Peacemaker is very good. But continue, please.
Yeah. Okay, so Marvel Zombies is a continuation of an episode of What If, of the Marvel What If show.
Oh, cool. I was curious if it was if they were like continuing the story or what was going to happen. Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't see the characters from that episode until like the end of the second episode. Like the first episode kind of centers on a lot of the centers on several of the new characters from the new Marvel stuff.
Right.
And then
catching
the
up
second
the audience.
episode, well, more like just like, no, hey, here are like Ms. Marvel and Blade and like a few others.
Blade?
Like, yes. Yeah. Not just Blade, but in this universe, Blade that has become the Moon Knight.
Moon Knight Blade? All
yes.
Right, I gotta watch this thing. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Who voices
it's nuts
him, though?
He's voiced by Todd Williams.
Oh.
But it's the Mahershala Ali style. Like, he looks like Mahershala Ali.
You're right, because that Blade movie should have been out like 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
When they were planning this, yeah.
Mary Abraham does reprise his role as Khonshu.
Sweet.
So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the first episode follows one group of heroes and they get kind of to like a natural conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next episode starts with a completely different set of heroes. It's got Shang-Chi and and the character that Awkwafina plays and them dealing with. And I'll tell you, the beginning of the second episode is just the most off the wall, crazy thing, because what ends up happening is they're in San Francisco,
mm-hmm.
and the zombies have gotten into Pym's labs. So
no! Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, you don't know like what has happened. Like the characters don't know what has happened, but there are giant kaiju-sized zombies flying, like walking through buildings, and like it is intense in a way that I have not seen in a lot of things. It kind of reminded me a lot of Batman Ninja, the film where Batman goes back to feudal Japan, and like how off the wall and brilliant that is. That's this for 4 episodes. And the big bad is Wanda Maximoff, who has decided that basically leading an army of the dead is the only way to protect the Earth against a much worse menace.
Oh boy,
that she has seen in her dreams. Yeah,
fantastic,
and it's incredible. So like,
awesome.
Check it out. I guess since I hear that Peacemaker is even better, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that. Maybe that'll be the next thing that we start to dive into.
I mean, it is solidly rated R. for many reasons.
Well, I'm assuming it's a lot like the new Suicide Squad, right? Isn't that where Peacemaker was introduced?
Yes, yeah. So it's the same character. It's John Cena's Peacemaker. The first season follows like what happened to him after the events of the Suicide Squad. And it's it's a really like tight-knit character story, and he is the most like lovable racist. He's not really racist, but like he was raised by a racist. So his father is played by Mr. T-1000. I forget what the dude's name is.
Yeah, the guy who's brothers with the lead singer of Filter, Robert Patrick.
Yeah. Record scratch. What? The lead singer of Filter. Wow.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
The lead singer of Filter is brothers with the actor who played the T-1000.
See, I will remember that forever, Devon, but I do not remember us ever being in class together, is the thing.
Devon told me that little factoid.
Never in class
like
together.
15
We
years
never
ago.
had a class together.
Well, that's why I don't remember. Why are we friends? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's his father, and who is just a horrible human being, and raised Peacemaker to be this anti-hero hero. And his silly slogan is he protects peace no matter how many people he needs to kill, right? So he's off the wall, he's a little bit zany, but then the show like digs in and really kind of deconstructs the character, and you find out why he is the way he is, and like how he wants to change who he is and not be who his dad wanted him to be. Like it gets into this really deep like father-son relationship stuff. But he also has a pet bird named Eagly, the eagle that's his sidekick. So it goes weird too.
Nice.
But it also I want to say the first episode said previously in the DCEU or something. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting that completely mixed up. The second season starts off with previously in the DCU, which Peacemaker is in a weird place because when the Suicide Squad was made, it was still in like the Zack Snyder DC universe. And so at the end of the first season of Peacemaker, they end up like saving the world from this thing. And like earlier in the episode, there was a joke where they're like, why aren't we calling the Justice League? Like, this is huge. This is an alien invasion that we're stopping. And they stop it. And like, as they're walking away from it, the Justice League, the Zack Snyder, like the silhouettes of all of them are there. And Peacemaker's like, you guys are too late. And then there's like little cameos from a few of them. And so that was in the finale of the first season of Peacemaker. Very minuscule spoilers. Don't worry about that part. So in season 2, now James Gunn runs all of these movies. Like he's the head guy. And so what they did is they said previously in the DCU and like recap the first season. And that scene was redone with the Justice Gang. And with similar like little jokes. So they're like, all of that still happened, but a little bit different. Don't worry about it. Let's keep moving. So it was only mentioned like in that recap, which is hilarious. And then the second season, which just had its 7th episode, it's only an 8 episode long season. They're like hour long ish, 40, 50 minutes. This one is dealing more with a parallel reality that he finds. And I'm not going to spoil that, but let's say he finds this parallel reality and it turns out like, oh, my dad's actually cool here. And this world is actually really awesome. Like, and then his other self like attacks him and we go on from there. And like just the dynamics between like, see now that he's dealt with his daddy issues mostly in the first season, now it's more like his friends and family and like how that is being changed and adjusted according to these new things in their lives. It's hard to talk about. But what's good about it is you need zero comic book knowledge to understand the show. there's lots of like little Easter eggs here and there, but none of them affect the show. Like that's not what the show's about. As long as you know the character of Peacemaker, which, you know, they tell you all about him in the, you know, the first episode of the first season. So you like, as long as you're in on that, the rest of it's fine. Everyone's news is introduced. There was a shot of him talking in the Superman movie, like on TV. And like he had and he was saying like mean things about Superman, I think. And like there's reasons for that in the show, and like how he feels about the big name superheroes and the reasons why he feels certain ways. So like all of that is very much on purpose and like kind of play off of each other. But again, it's a little bit of an Easter egg. And then there are some other more heavy hitters, people and places. Now that the season's kind of coming, I'll just say they filmed part of the show on the sets of Superman.
Oh, okay.
There is some crossover, not in the way you think, but it's there, and it's super cool that it happened. It's not like if you didn't like get it in the moment, it doesn't change like the scene that happened. But if you know, you're like, oh, that's that place. That's awesome. You know, that's just kind of cool. And so, yeah, next week is the finale of the second season. I highly recommend it. It's a great rated R, superhero adjacent show. None of them have powers. It's all just people, right? Except for the eagle, kind of, because the eagle kind of understands them, but not really. So yeah. Anyways, I if you have a HBO Max subscription and you want like a cool, like weird action flick with quirky characters and some really heavy dramatic moments, that's Peacemaker. It's bizarre.
That sounds interesting.
It wasn't on my radar at all because when I saw that character, I liked the movie The Suicide Squad. I was like, oh, that was a good movie. But I didn't care about that character too much. I was like, it's John Cena. Yeah. He's doing the Rock thing. Like he's trying, whatever. Turns out dude can kind of act. And there are some scenes in the second season where it's very much like he's stretching those acting muscles quite a bit, and it's impressive.
Well, since you're talking about comic book movies and TV shows, I just wanted to mention the slate of Marvel movies has changed slightly. They're one of the movies, I guess they're not going to release, but in that slot, they're going to release the Simpsons movie, the second one. You heard about that?
What? I haven't heard about this at all. What's okay? So what's going on?
They're making a second. Well, they're making a new Simpsons movie. That was the big announcement a few days ago. And then they said that so there's going to be like the two Marvel movies, like the back-to-back Avengers movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to be called anymore. Dr. Doom replaces Kane the Conqueror.
Yeah, that's the official title of that movie. Yeah, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apparently there was supposed to be another MCU movie to come out between those two, which I assume would be some kind of prequel or I don't know. However, it would make sense with that release schedule.
Sure.
But that movie they took off the release schedule, and instead at that time it's going to be the second Simpsons movie.
Huh. Who's that for?
I'm curious if I would have been excited about a Simpsons movie if I hadn't just watched 20 seasons of The Simpsons.
You just did a rewatch?
I'm currently rewatch. Well, I rewatched the first 10, 11 seasons and then watched for the first time the next 10 seasons. And now I'm just continuing to watch it. I watch it during work, so it's like
something to listen to.
Just on.
Yeah.
So I mean, within the next few weeks, I'll have watched all 36 seasons of The Simpsons, which I will eventually be able to say I've seen every episode of my favorite show. Because until now, I can only say, I've only seen like a quarter of my favorite show.
Is it still your favorite show? I
mean, the first 10 seasons, yeah, but
you gotta take them all, dude. Can't just take some.
In a nostalgic kind of way. No, I don't know if it's Stockholm syndrome, but I've learned to appreciate the changing styles of The Simpsons. Like,
Okay.
there's certainly different eras and different like things they've tried to fix and things they do, like wacky plot lines, and they kind of like bring them back down to earth, and the comedy gets, the comedy gets stale. That's the worst part. But
Mm-hmm.
every so often I'm like, oh, that was actually a pretty clever joke. And like again, if you, I mean, I could probably write a book about it. There's looking at it from a different perspective, like just, it's like anything with our generation. Like if you're watching Star Wars or Star Trek and they try to do something new, and you're like, how much of it is my feelings of it based on nostalgia and not my my expectations as a kid, or how much is it giving it a fair shake? So all that stuff. But I am enjoying what I'm watching currently. But I know obviously for the last few decades, I would have said like, yeah, but it's still crap. But I'm like, no, there's some redeeming qualities to it. And so because of that, when I heard there was a new Simpsons movie coming out, I'm like, I'm actually kind of excited about that. But had I not just watched the first 20 seasons of The Simpsons, I probably would have been like, oh, that's really weird. Why? Yeah, why now? But it's because Disney owns Fox, and they're like, why aren't the Simpsons making tons of movies?
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I mean they own, it's what, 20th Century Television now is what it's called, and so we got the King of the Hill, Hulu still doing Futurama. We've got more. We got Family Guy still going, Simpsons still going. It's all these animated shows that just keep on cranking, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that Disney's at the head, make the mouse money. That's the way it is. We are also living in an interesting time where we, as the millennial generation, we've seen a lot of reboots and sequels and prequels and doing the same thing over and over, and like milking franchises, and something new comes out and that gets milked to death immediately. And The Simpsons came from a place before that. And it's just interesting that they have now gone into it and have had to essentially reboot themselves, quietly as time goes on, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Homer's what, 35 or something? 40?
Yeah, he's 36 in the canon of The Simpsons.
What, did you say 46?
36.
36. Oh, man.
I think he's 30. Yeah, it's weird to be older than Homer. And of course, Maggie would be our age, basically. Well, a little younger, but
she's a millennial. She would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and apparently in a new season or the new episode, I just saw headlines like people are mad that Homer and Marge are now millennials. It's like, yeah, they have to change with the times. There's an episode that I do remember watching when it originally aired, and it aired in like 2008, and it was a flashback episode of Marge and Homer before they had kids, and it was them living in the 90s, and it was actually, the episode's called That 90s Show. And of course that's completely breaks their continuity, because they've always grown up in like the late 70s, early 80s, and that was kind of like the style of Marge and Homer's youth. And so, but I mean, and then even back then in 2008, it's like, why is this show still on? And now 20 years later, they're like, well, we got to keep aging, or not aging them, because they don't do that, but we've got to keep moving their backstories forward in time so that it makes sense.
And if you do that in a creative way, like, go for it,
Yeah.
Do your little reboot. What is the Bart Simpson of 2025 look like? Are they constantly carrying around cell phones now? Like, cell phones have been around for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't gotten to that point yet, but sure. I mean, in 2008 there were cell phones. Yeah, it's in there. Like, during when the internet became a bigger thing, they started having things about the internet, and then now they have like laptops with them, and they're integrating like changes in technology into the daily lives of the Simpsons. And
that's
because
so
I mean
weird.
they have a hard enough time with characters that don't age to come up with more stories. Like, to have the world not age would be like, I don't know what you can do for more stories if you're not even gonna like acknowledge that.
Well, like, how many episodes have there been? Just, I know
800, like 865, something like that. Because I just looked up. I have the episode guide up while I'm watching it, so that's why I happen to know the rough number off the top of my head.
Gosh, still
So-
doesn't come close to One Piece.
I thought you were going to say Star Trek. But it does.
Why would I talk
actually,
about that
no,
show? That
that's
show is
close.
perfect. it can never do any
According
wrong.
to
It has never had dark
IMDb,
days.
856.
Okay, 856. So being generous and saying that every episode equals like 1 day of real life Simpsons, they still would have aged over 2 years.
That's what I've thought also. I'm like, I guess if they don't age, all these events have taken place, back to back.
Yeah.
Which would be insane.
And like,
But there was an
yeah.
episode I watched where they're remodeling their kitchen, and there's the joke about how, contractors, they quote you how long it's going to be, and then it takes like way longer. And so they did that joke where they're like, oh, but it's going to take forever to get it done. Like, no, we have a good contractor. And it's like, then it says like 2 years later and it's still not done. I'm like, you just advanced the show by 2 years.
And everyone's the
characters
same.
in it.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you reconcile that? But it's like, it's The Simpsons. Nothing has to be consistent.
Right. It can be timeless.
Yeah.
Within reason, apparently. All right. I'm going to cut us there. We're already at 40 minutes. We haven't done future or now yet, you guys.
I'm like, I don't think we're going to get to other stuff.
Should we skip future and now again and just go straight to book
Welcome to
club?
the Simpsons podcast.
I mean, Devin got excited and
No,
started
it
talking, so we got to
depends.
let him go.
Well, I was going to say, I also kind of wanted to talk about Alien. Have you finished Alien Earth, Steven?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Because I finished it also. I would change my future now to that, considering I talked about other stuff I didn't intend to talk about at the beginning of the show.
Well, tell me about Alien. Let's just do it. Tell me about Alien Earth. What you got? What good, bad, weird?
I feel like I've come back to my original feeling where I was just kind of like, like it's okay.
Okay.
A lot better than it could have been. I mean, a show based on the Alien franchise could have been terrible, but also kind of a mess and kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So
They had a lot of plot lines going on at the same time. I think the show could be re-edited into a better show. I just did not like the editing of that show at all, except for the one episode that was the best episode of the season. And you know what episode that
bottle
was?
episode.
Yeah, the like little
that's pretty
prequel
good.
episode. It was great. It was one of the best Alien movies I've ever seen. And then the way the finale's a bit forgettable to me. Like, I don't remember exactly what happened because all the good stuff happened the episode before, and the finale felt like it was just like, all right, here's what we're gonna do next season. Like, that's all that episode felt like the whole time. But yeah, having
It was.
a show with multiple aliens, multiple deadly aliens was cool. That's one show. Having a show about like kids being put in android bodies and being like sequestered off in Neverland, that's another really good show. And then like another good show is when you have like androids doing like secret spy stuff with spaceships and corporations. That's another good show. This show was all three of those shows though. It was too much.
And it's so weird. I think you could have had all of those things going on at once, but it would have been like if you had a more episodic type show where you're like, okay, we're just going to focus on one thing, one character, and them dealing with being a robot kid or whatever, or kid in a robot body.
Yeah.
That might be doable, but yeah, trying to do like a serialized show and then not really balance it too well. And then the biggest frustration for me when it came to just like they got science wrong. Not necessarily. I'm not saying they got the science wrong, like physics. Although they always shows like that always get physics wrong a little bit. They got the process of science wrong. Like you're so hell bent on getting these aliens to, I guess, to study and then somehow engineer some new technology out of whatever you find about them. And all I could tell they did was keep them in cages and feed them, and then sometimes try to talk to them. And why didn't you have like an army of scientists? I mean, obviously you have unlimited money, basically. You have a private island with you could have the best scientific facilities. It's just there was like no actual science being done. And that's also and you could say like, so what? That's not what the show is about. But that is what the show is about, because the whole purpose of these corporations fighting over these aliens is to study them. And they didn't
No. The purpose wasn't to study them. The purpose was to exploit them. Very different.
Well, yes, but you have to study them before you can exploit them. You have to know what they are and what they do before you can exploit them.
I totally get your point, Devon. And I agree with you that kind of show would be really interesting to us, to see like real science being done with these strange aliens, because they were extremely interesting. They were all very unique and interesting, except for the tick one. Who cares? But like the eyeball, and then the classic alien, and the things that ate computer parts,
Flies that ate metal. Cool.
Yeah, like those were the hanging thing that like did nothing until it just swallowed somebody one day randomly. Like they did really cool things. They were very interesting, and we barely saw them. And it was like written in the show, like, yes, science should be happening, except this isn't really that kind of science facility. And also the person in charge is a crazy ADD addled child billionaire who has no impulse control. Like, and I think they got that across enough that I knew no real science was ever going to happen. It was just this rich dude playing with toys the entire time, which is a commentary on today's society in a very, not very subtle way. So yeah, I'll say what I said at the beginning. There's way too many plot lines going on. Whenever that happens, you need to have really good, tight editing, and this show did not have that. That was my biggest complaint. If as they do a second season and the editing is done differently, then like I'm sure I'll keep watching and keep enjoying. I watched every episode. I was there on the days it came out watching it because I wanted to see, is this going to be a good episode or is this going to be an okay episode?
Yeah, I wasn't bored. I mean, I wanted to know what was going to happen next, and I think it ends with a complete turnaround of the power dynamic, which could be really interesting. So
yeah, and
I mean, I would give the second season a shot as well and keep watching.
Yeah, for sure, just to see if they can salvage, because it's kind of just mediocre, and it could be great. All right, now we're gonna take a break. Future now. Sorry, it's gonna be future is in next episode. We had too many cool things to just talk about. Devon's been gone for a while. That's the way it goes sometimes. We all have future or now. We're all gonna save it for next week. So next week we're gonna hit it hard, you guys. But for now, we're gonna take ourselves a little break, and we'll be right back. Oh wow, another free listener. Incredible. Look, I love that you're here, but let's be real. You could be getting so much more. Bonus episodes, unfiltered takes, behind-the-scenes chaos. All you have to do is join our Patreon at patreon.com/sciencefactionpodcast. Or don't. But if you don't, just know that somewhere in a parallel universe, a better version of you already has. And we're back.
Heyo.
Hi.
And a big thank you to our patrons, Josh and Renee. You guys rock.
They rock us like a hurricane. That's another thing about.
What does that mean?
It doesn't matter. Think about the moisture. The other awesome thing about Peacemaker, and Devon, I know that you will enjoy this because it's just as goofy, but it is drenched in like 80s glam hair metal. Like that is the soundtrack to both seasons, and it's wonderful. The needle drops are amazing. I don't recognize any of the songs. It's all like minor hits and stuff, but like the vibe is there, and that's pretty cool.
Right on.
Yeah. All right. So let's do book club. What are we doing next week, guys?
So next week we are reading Wiki History by Desmond Warzel. And we actually got it on courtesy of Reactor Mag. So it's a pretty short one, y'all. But
yeah, that's a sit down, scroll for a while, go, oh yeah, that's right, read the thing, and then you read the thing, and then you still have time to go and scroll some more before you're done with your business. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. What are we reading this week?
This week it's They're Made Out of Meat by Terry Bisson. And Yeah, you guys, we're finally covering this after talking about it all the time.
We've talked. I know for a fact we've talked about this on the show before. We couldn't find it by going through our
Yeah.
silly little search function on our website, and I'm definitely no, I don't remember things that well. Pretty sure we didn't do it as a short story or anything.
Like if we talked about it, I don't think it was set as like that's the short story we're going to talk about. Maybe
No.
someone mentioned it.
Yeah. So Terry Basson, the other one that we read of his, that was the bear one, right?
Bears discover fire.
Right. Okay. So this is this was another short read. This is like a minute or two read, and it's a conversation between two individuals about meat. Who's made out of meat?
They're made out of meat. Yeah. Well, so this is a conversation between two people, two beings, who are discussing radio signals that have been picked up from them, messages to the stars by an alien race that just happens to be made out of meat.
That's
impossible.
Is
incomprehensible.
Yeah. That's
You
ridiculous. How can a meat make a machine? You're asking me to believe in sentient meat? So like the gag here is that they refer to humans just as meat. And because of that, and because of their reaction to these things just made out of meat, and isn't that crazy? That informs us of the rest of the universe in a way. And they mentioned a few other alien races, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Like the Orphilae, who are a carbon-based intelligence that just goes through a meat stage.
Yeah. And then there's the Wedeli, a meat head with an electron plasma brain inside. And then they start talking about brains, like, oh, there is a brain, all right. It's just that the brain is made out of meat.
Made of meat.
So what does the thinking? You're not understanding, are you? The brain does the thinking. The meat, like this feels like there should be 1,000 different versions of this with different characters taking on these roles.
Well, if you look on YouTube.
Oh no.
Did either of you guys watch the version, like the YouTube video that we linked?
I did
Or
not.
did you just read it? Wow.
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. I actually watched it this time and didn't read it.
Oh.
Mostly because like I've seen a few different adaptations of it, and generally like that's I'll tell you something that's really weird about this story that you may have picked up is that does it work if you have beings that are made of meat saying these lines?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, right? Yeah. So, but this one that the production that we linked to was interesting because it was kind of framed by the idea that these beings are taking on human form in order to observe them while they're talking about them.
Okay. Gotcha.
And every time that they're talking about like stuff that's like the most disgusting to them, they're pairing it with close-up shots of them like eating sausage or like like kind of like it has a very unsettling feeling to the cinematography and what's happening like in media res as they're talking, like, you know, they're having a discussion within the men's restroom. And,
oh no.
You know, and there's a human there that just kind of walks in on them talking and then like goes about his business. And one of the aliens, like after the human leaves, like goes up to the urinal and is like, oh, how does this work? All right. And like it was a fascinating approach to it. That one was pretty good, you know, but also like as disgusting as the characters are behaving to the knowledge that that just these are, meat all the way through that sing, like that the meat flaps are just airs blowing through the meat flaps.
No, not blowing. They used a different word.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure it was squirting, that they squirt air through their meat.
Yeah, you slap or flap meat.
Air through their meat.
Yeah, they talk by flapping their meat at each other.
I thought it was funny how he used "oh my god" so much. I just thought that was a funny.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
it was very like these are super sophisticated beings that are disgusted by organic life, but yet they say, "Oh my god." I was just like, okay, OMG.
Well, okay, so they say, "Oh my god," OMIGOD. Is that like, I wonder, like, that's got to be on purpose as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. So something that occurred to me upon watching this version of it was the idea that, from this story's viewpoint, these are these are characters are representing who's in charge, right? That are conducting reviews of the human race. Well, what if they're not the top life form? What if they themselves are being observed?
Okay.
Which is kind of like they're the entire, like, judge not yet lest ye be judged. What if there's another level of the universe outside of it, of alien beings that wouldn't ever, like, come into contact with these two alien beings and their civilizations, right? Because that's what this is all like. Eventually this story gets to the point where they're like, well, the humans, we're trying to communicate with them, but there's just no way we can communicate with meat. And they so desperately want to meet more people or more civilizations, but we're probably just going to like quarantine this area of space and forget about them because we can't be bothered,
So,
there was.
Go ahead, Devin.
Sorry. Well, I was a little confused by one part of it because they talk about this quadrant or something to that effect.
Officially, we are required to contact, welcome, and log in any and all sentient races or multi-beings in the quadrant without prejudice, fear, or favor.
So, but then they talk about how they can return to their universe. I just saw it. I have it up. Yeah, so we just pretend there's no one home in the universe. So I kind of I was wondering, like, okay, so these aren't aliens in our universe, like from another planet. These are aliens who like travel the multiverse or something to that effect, and they found life in our universe. But our universe happens to create life with meat. But I think that's too far of a stretch because then they talk about radio waves, and it's like, well, radio waves aren't going to travel through the multiverse, I don't think.
Yeah, I read it that they're trying to convince the humans that there's no one home in the universe, right? Because
there's no one home in the universe. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what when they start to kind of humanize the humans at the end, and just like imagine how unutterably cold the universe would be if one were all alone.
Oh.
And yet they want to sentence us to that. Like these beings
are meat.
Are pricks.
I mean, made out of meat.
Yeah, but they're judgmental, like terrible creatures.
Like I like how they're like, officially we're supposed to do this. Unofficially, I advise that we erase the records or forget the whole thing. And they're like, yeah. And then they're like, how would this work? Or like, hello, meat. How's it going? How will this work? How many planets are we dealing with here? Just one. They can travel to other planets in special meat containers, but they can't live on them. And being meat, they only travel through sea space, which limits them to the speed of light and makes the possibility of their ever making contact pretty slim. Infinitesimal, in fact. So like that right there is a clue about like other other dimensionalities of these aliens. And they're like, oh, they're in meat space. They're in sea space. They can't even go faster than the speed of light. Dummies. They're never going to meet anyone anyway. You know, like there's a fair bit of world building in this silly little back and forth exchange, which I'm a huge fan of. That's really
good. For sure. Yeah, just doesn't stop them from being pricks, though.
I could definitely see this being another thing used by like Love, Death, and Robots. Like it's just right up there with like the yogurt thing and other things that Love, Death, and Robots have done. They're just being like, have these creatures looking at Earth, and you can have like shots of humans doing gross things, and I mean, and then this conversation going on.
You know, do you guys remember Ren and Stimpy?
Yes.
It's funny you bring that up because we've been talking about that recently in our house.
Okay, we're gonna put a pin in that. But you know how like every now and then there will be like a really gross zoomed in shot of the characters, right? Yeah. So like if this was done in Love, Death, and Robots, I could see it being like something like that, where whenever they're talking about the gross things that humans do with their meat, it would be extra gross like that, right? Like silly gross. That would be. That
like
could be
showing
fun.
humans eating other meat and just like dripping and like just gross sound.
That's pretty much the video. Yes.
Okay, then that makes sense.
There it is. Yep.
I don't know how I think Jen brought it up for some reason, and maybe it was just a log song, log. You know.
Oh yeah, it's
wood.
It's wood. Yeah.
It's better than bad.
So, so I think she mentioned that to the kids, but she couldn't remember the song, and I know some of it, and then we looked it up and watched it, and then we were just like, man, Ren and Stimpy was a weird show.
Yeah. Happy, joy. The space madness. Like there's a lot of That's what we should do next week is review the episode of Ren and Stimpy called Space Madness.
if you want something that's close, that's a little bit more contemporary, that your kids could probably get into a little bit earlier than that, I recommend The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Which was a Cartoon Network show that my son really enjoys quite a bit.
My kids have just gotten into Phineas and Ferb, which seems like a pretty cool show.
I've heard good things about that as well, but I've never checked it out.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Right on.
The comedy is definitely like, you would appreciate it.
That's the other recommendation I got. It was very similar. That's funny.
I would say that like Phineas and Ferb is not Ren and Stimpy like. Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack is very Ren and Stimpy like, just not quite as gross.
Okay, cool.
I'll include the IMDb.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, got it.
Yep, just watch that and go, that's going to be Lois Lane one day, and get very excited.
Miss Marvel, yes.
Yeah, Ms. The Muslim superhero? Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah. Talking about The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack goes all the way round circle.
Powdered Toast Man. I remember Powdered Toast Man.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weird side characters in Ren and Stimpy. They brought it back, and it was like not the same. Do you guys remember that at all?
No, I don't.
I think I only watched one episode of it, and it was kind of like it went from being a gross kid show to a gross adult show, and it didn't
try too hard or
just too bizarre. Like when you're a kid, it's funny. When you're an adult, it's kind of like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
It didn't age with its audience, but it kind of did, but it kind of didn't. There was a big. I'll talk about it in the post-pod part because it's not appropriate, but I will talk about it later. If you're a patron, you just hang tight and we'll get there. All right.
More Ren and Stimpy talk.
More Ren and Stimpy talk coming exclusively to Patreon. All right.
I can't wait.
They're made out of meat. How many meats do you give it, Ben, out of meats?
Well, just about all the way through.
All the way through
is what I give it. All the way through.
Okay. Devon, how do you rate They're Made Out of Meat?
Medium well.
Medium well.
That's
Well,
not how I like my. That's just what I'm giving the thing.
I'm gonna say I like my meat still flapping. I'll put it,
Okay.
put it that.
Yeah.
It was a great story. I loved it. It's so fun. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up because we're done. Next week, everyone cross their fingers that we get back to Future or Now next week. I need some good science news, and there's a little bit there. So next week, look forward to that. Next week, of course, read Wiki History. We've got a link in our show notes. And Devon, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Yeah, Ben, do you mind?
Yeah.
If I do?
What?
Last words.
Steven, do you have any final thoughts?
I do. You know, I have crazy garlic fingers from peeling and chopping garlic cloves yesterday. It's kind of fascinating to me because it reminds me that I too am made of meat, and therefore I am also susceptible to being seasoned.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.